Hello everyone, welcome back to AK Coding YouTube channel. Today is the 5th day of learning jQuery, and today's topic is about animations. In the previous video we have revised about hide, show, fade in, fade out, slide, slide in, slide out, and toggles. In this video, as I said before, we're going to learn animations. If you're ready, let's get started. jQuery provides the animate method for custom animations in JavaScript, and it can be used to change CSS properties over time. So here's a basic animation explanation, an example you can see here. So we can animate a box with getting by ID, and we can use the keyword which is animate, and we can write instead of our animate method, we can write the CSS which is width 300 pixels by 10,000, which means by this 1 seconds. And the next example you can see multiplying the properties. So we are adding the opacity to the animation method, and this property gives the opacity after 1 second 0.5 opacity. So let's try it out in our Visual Studio Code. First of all, I'm going to open in the live server our HTML file. So I know you have already connected your script with the jQuery, and now what I'm going to write here in the HTML, we'll be writing a box, right? So we'll write div, maybe hash box, which creates the div, and now I'm going to take the box, so ID with the hash, and after that I'm going to put animate here, and then here I'll be writing this one. So I'll write width with 300 pixels, right? And then after this curly braces with semicolon, I can give time for that, I mean the duration. And now we are not seeing our box because we didn't give any CSS for that, so let's give some CSS for our box in order to see, I mean display in our browser. So I'm going to write here box with this one, and you can see here if I reload the page, as you can see it's animating to the right with adding 300 pixels more. So this is working fine. With 300 pixels more, I'm sorry. Okay, and now the next multiplying properties, which is adding the opacity to our animate. So for example, if I add opacity after 300 pixels, so the 300 pixels of the width of the div will be opacity 0.5 instead of 1. Of course, added opacity, and which is 0.5. Okay. And let's see, as you can see our div opacity decreased to 0.5, so this is working fine. So let's see the chaining the animations. jQuery allows to us chaining the multiple animations. For example, we can add the animations from one to another one. So for example, here we have a box and we are animating with 300 pixels and with the 1000 duration. And then after that we can put .animate again in order to chain it. And then after this first animation happens, the second animation will automatically change to the second one. Okay, how we can do this? So after this I'm going to put animate again, which is the next method, and I'm going to write here height 300 pixels and opacity 1. And if I come back, as you can see, it came with the height of the 300 pixels. If I reload the page again, it's going to the right first and it's going down. So we can even add a button here with the toggling this or with clicking this. For example, what can I do here? I'm going to add a button and I'm going to give an ID for that, for example btn, and I'm going to write click. Okay, and then here I'm going to call the button first, so in jQuery, so I'm going to write btn dot click, and we'll write function and after writing the simple structure of the function, we're going to put this thing instead of this thing. So currently the div is normal, and if I click on this, it's going to the right and it's going to the down. So this is working, and this is amazing, right? So the next thing is easing the functions. So even also we can add for our box some fade in or fade out toggles too. So it depends on you, but I'm not going to add here, so you can do it by yourself. And the next functionality I'm going to show is swing and linear, which is the easing the functions, which controls animation speed variation in using jQuery UI. So for example, here we are getting the box and we are animating to the left with 100 pixels adding, and we are swinging it. So what is the swing and what is the linear? So let's see. So as you know, we learned in CSS like is in and is in out or is out, this kind of properties of the CSS, and this is a jQuery UI's swing and linear duration and the easing functions. So here what I'm going to add after the 1000, I'm going to give a separate comma and I'm going to write swing. And if I write this and if I click on this, what happens? So as you can see, it's going to smooth to the right side and it's going down with it smoothly. And if I add linear, so for example, instead of 2000, I'm going to give 500, which can be faster. And if I give the linear for that, what happens? Let's see it. So let's click on this button and we'll see. So it's going faster and it's going to the linear with the linear UI. And if I remove this property from here, we can see also the difference between this. So it's going just like statically. Okay, so these are the easing functions. So mostly we can also see this thing with giving left, top, right properties. For example, I'm going to just comment this thing and I'm going to write here box again, right? Box, and I'm going to write animate with curly braces. I'm going to write left, which is plus equal 100, right, like this, and we can write pixels. And also don't forget to give semicolon, and it should be inside of the string, the thing, because it's not the CSS. And after that we are going to write 1000, no, maybe 500 is fine, maybe 700, and we can write inside swing. And let's see, if I click on this, okay, I think it didn't work because of this. So let's save it and also add for this width 300 with the string 300 pixels, and we have to put just semicolon to separate it. Now this is working fine. So the summary we have learned today. Okay, let's get out from here. Yep. Now I'm going to tell some summaries about jQuery animations. So we learned about how to animate in jQuery using animate method, and we used also multiple CSS properties which can be animated at once, and animations also can be chained for smooth effects. In the next videos we are going to learn handling events in jQuery. If you liked this video, just hit the subscribe button and share with your friends, and see you in the next videos.